Vista Oaks. One neighborhood. Two sides are divided by a greenbelt down the center through which runs Honey Bear Creek. Along the creek is a primitive trail. The trail itself is divided by the creek in one location and by at least one tributary in another. When it rains and the creek rises, it is impassable. From time to time, a makeshift crossing of stones or wood is constructed presumably by a few neighbors. It can then be crossed with some courage and balance until the next heavy rain erases it. There have been no improvements to the primitive trail for over a quarter of a century. To most residents, the existence of the Greenbelt, Honey Bear Creek, and the primitive trail is considered an asset to our community. For some neighbors, however, the primitive trail is sadly unusable for many common leisure activities. Adults, children, and grandchildren must ride their bikes in the street where they compete with the daily automobile and service truck traffic. Moms and dads are restricted to pushing a stroller or dragging a wagon loaded with their youngsters down the sidewalks and crossing the streets. All outdoor activities such as roller skating or riding a scooter must compete for space on our narrow sidewalks. It's not awful, but it's not optimum. The rough surface of the primitive trail is not suitable for those activities. To those in wheelchairs, using walkers, or simply having stability issues, the primitive trail is inaccessible. There is a solution, and our neighborhood is fortunate enough to have that solution offered at no cost to the community by our county. The Williamson County Parks Department completed a comprehensive parks master plan in 2008. The final trail master plan document was completed in 2012. One of the overarching goals of the Trails Master Plan is to connect trails. Connected trails create safe, car-free routes for commuting to work, school, or running errands. This reduces traffic congestion, improves air quality, can save people money on transportation costs, and provides for many leisure activities. Several components of the Trail Master Plan were identified as priority segments. One such priority segment is the one proposed to run down the center of our greenbelt. The proposed trail would consist of a 10-foot wide concrete path with an additional 5-foot easement on either side, creating a 20-foot wide trail. The county will pay for the construction and maintenance of the trail. Importantly, they may also assume some liability. Like most quality neighborhoods, Vista Oaks has thoughtful residents. Some have raised important concerns. The board of the Homeowners Association has heard many of those concerns and has set about researching and getting answers from reliable and credible sources. Some of the answers are supported by statistical research and other evidence. Here are some of the more common concerns heard from neighbors. Concern: there will be a lot of outsiders coming through our neighborhood on the trail. Most studies have shown that people who use a public trail live nearby. Why? Because it's convenient, builds a sense of community connection, and is much safer than isolated areas. The farther away people are, the less likely they are to use the trail. Concern: property values will go down. Several studies have shown that generally there is a positive correlation between property values and well-maintained public trails. A study in Austin found that greenways had a positive impact on proximate property sales prices, particularly when offering direct access. Concern: safety. Residents often fear new trails will increase crime, but studies usually indicate that this doesn't happen. Studies found that well-maintained trails in urban areas can contribute to a decrease in crime rates. Trails that are poorly maintained, overgrown, or lack proper lighting can become less safe. Concern: the homeless population will increase. Homelessness along public trails occurs mainly in densely populated urban areas where services are readily available. Some trails run close to urban areas or have access points near resources like food banks, shelters, or water sources. This does not appear to be the case in Vista Oaks. Concern: trash and parking will become problematic. Popular trails such as the Barton Creek Greenbelt and the Hike and Bike Trail along Lake Ladybird certainly can have trash and parking problems. Our segment of the trail plan is unlikely to become as popular as those trails. If you've walked the trails at Wilco Park, you're likely to have seen little or no trash on the trails. Concerning parking, those users who do not already live in Vista Oaks will most likely use parking at the trailhead in Wilco Park. Concern: we will lose our privacy. The trail will be no closer than 40 yards from any home in our subdivision. Also, where clear visibility to some homes along the trail is an issue, it is possible to plant barrier trees and foliage to mitigate the problem. In closing, I'm sure the board looks forward to continued dialogue with neighbors. Please feel comfortable sharing your concerns as well as positive comments.